Unexpectedly losing your job. It seems like today that chance of being called into the boss's office and your boss informing you that you no longer have a position with the company is more prevalent. It seems to happen more easily, or maybe even more quickly. Companies merge, companies close, and jobs are eliminated. And if you haven't experienced that in your life, imagine for a moment that on Monday morning, your boss calls you into the office and informs you that your job is gone. What would you do? How would you respond? Would you quickly update your resume? Would you quickly begin looking for a new job? Would you update your electronic profile? You'd probably also file for unemployment, making sure that your COBRA for your insurance is covered to carry the insurance through until hopefully you get a new job. And maybe perhaps you'd lose a lot of sleep over it. The dishonest steward had that same experience today. He learned that he was about to lose his job, and upon learning this, he immediately sprung into action, calling up all of his master's debtors and quickly reducing their debt so that he would fall in favor with them, so that he would be in favor with them, so that maybe they would help him out after he had lost his job. But it's much harder for him at that time. There was no COBRA plan. There was no unemployment. He didn't have the ability or the strength to dig. He was too ashamed to beg. And so this man decided to be clever. He began to reduce the debt that was owed to his master. And the funny thing is, instead of reprimanding him for doing that, his master praises him for being so clever and being so resourceful with those gifts that were given him. And we might look at this and say, what is Jesus trying to get at here? Why is he honoring someone who is dishonest? Is God giving praise to dishonesty here? Absolutely not. Jesus is telling us today, it's about waking up from our spiritual slumber and coming to our spiritual attention. Let me ask you a couple of simple questions to see what kind of importance you place on getting your spiritual life in order. Who's more important to you in life? Your doctor who takes care of you physically, or the priest who takes care of your soul spiritually? We certainly go to see our doctor whenever we have an ache or a pain in our body that we wonder what it might be. We feel that pain in our chest tightening up, thinking that maybe we're having a heart attack, and immediately we go to our doctor. But if we find ourselves in the state of mortal sin, do we immediately go to that sacrament of confession? Secondly, is it possible you might be called to meet Jesus in the coming week? Yet how many of us stop and think about our death? That it could happen to us today. That it could happen to us tomorrow. We don't know when we'll be called out of this life. But do we stop to think that our eternity is only in two places? Hopefully it's heaven, but there is also a hell. So many of us think our spiritual lives are in pretty good order. I go to church on Sunday, I put a little bit of money in the basket, I say a few prayers before I go to bed at night, I'm in good shape. But what would happen if you, working for your boss, only gave him an hour of work each week? You maybe gave him a little bit of money or something, a little bit of encouragement, and maybe you thought about him before you went to bed. how long would you be employed? Probably not very long. But yet, on the other hand, we treat our spiritual lives just like that. 1 hour, a little bit of money in the collection basket, and a little bit of time before we go to bed, and we think we're ready for heaven. Jesus says, be clever with your spiritual lives. Maybe when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, say a Hail Mary. It's a great way to brush your teeth, and by the time you get done saying the Hail Mary, you're done. It's beautiful. It works. How clever are we with our spiritual lives? What if God would call us out of this world today? Hopefully it'll be after our fall festival. But what if he called you out of this world today? Would you really be ready? Like the steward in today's gospel, we must all take immediate action. We need to be resourceful. We need to be clever in how we provide for the most important need of our lives, our spiritual souls. Let's ask the Lord as we approach and receive him during Holy Communion today, that he will give us help to take seriously what our faith teaches us about our eternal salvation. And let's spring into action to make the changes we need to make for the health of our spiritual lives. Are you willing to invest a little bit of time necessary each day to properly care for your soul? Are you ready to meet Jesus if he comes for you today?